He's like, what do you think she's going to do? You're not an adult. You can't handle that. And
She's a different person now, and I think she's really made strides as an individual to change her life. And so throwing her under a bus is not what I want to do.
Personally, I really need a season 20 for no other reason than I want to see a tell-all where Meri is unleashed, because it seems in this tell-all she's still trying to protect people that are not protecting her. And I'm side-eyeing Christine and Kody when they say, oh, she's made changes to, to better herself. We don't want to say anything that will bring her down. You are already saying it by implying that there is more to Meri than we know about. And the audacity for Robin to sit there and pretend like she's the victim. Please sit down. Please sit down. We're not here for that nonsense. We do not have time today to put up with whatever crap you're trying to sell us. And I am here for Janelle. The smile on her face when Meri said to Kody, we are a divorced couple. So we are divorcees. So there's no connection to, between the two of us. Outside of Leon, there's nothing binding them. So I don't get why, you wanted to play the victim. But anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 26, the first part of the tell-all. Hi everyone, I'm so sorry about my late review. I've been away on holiday. It's been a while since I traveled. The last time I traveled was last year, so I've been away for a holiday for just over a week, so this is why my Sister Wives review is coming up a bit late. Anyway, so you have everybody getting ready for this tell-all. You have Kody's with Robin, and Robin seems very anxious in exclamation marks because this is something she doesn't look forward to. She'd prefer a root canal as opposed to this, and it's like, you signed on to this. What did you expect? What did you expect? At the end of the day, you and your husband have come up with a scenario of what you feel has been happening in your relationships with his other wives or his ex-wives. So whatever happens, you have to deal with it, and you have to be able to take ownership of the things that you said and you did. They get ready. The sexual remarks that they make, the gestures that they make, I find it cringe-worthy, because for Kody to be talking about her makeup when she had her first tell-all, and it's just a bit cringe for me. It's just a bit cringe, especially given the fact that they're trying to rewrite history and come across as this couple that fell hopelessly in love at first sight, and so this is where they are. They've been victimized because of that, and I'm not buying it. You have Janelle. Janelle is getting ready. She's with Madison and Caleb. She's getting ready for her tell-all. Janelle is an open book, so she's not worried about anything. She's ready for whatever, Suki has to offer. She just says she has to remind herself that Suki is not a friend and that this is going to be Ed, so she needs to be mindful of the things that she says during her interview. But otherwise, she feels Suki is always fair and very sort of honest with her questions. You have Christine. Christine is with David. David is always the supportive husband. So he is supportive to his wife. He's asking her if she's ready for the tell-all. Christine doesn't look forward to the tell-alls, but at the end of the day, this is something that she knows she has to do. I love that she didn't badmouth anyone. And I love that David, on camera, we've never seen him badmouth Kody. I know there was a comment made, I saw something on social media where Avalon made a comment. Is Avalon, yeah, she's McKelty's daughter. She made some remark about David not liking Kody, but I don't know how far true that is. You have Meri. Meri threw shade without throwing shade, because Meri said, I'm always honest in my interviews, so I don't need to remember anything. It's only those that lie that might need to remember what they said. And it's like, ooh, okay, this is going to be interesting. So you have everybody, the OG3 with Kody sit down. Well, you have tips of them meeting Suki and sitting down. And Suki asks them to describe a movie that would sort of explain where they are in life. And I love that Janelle was sort of thinking of reinventing herself, because this is where most of these women are, except for Christine. Meri and Janelle are still reinventing themselves. Christine has found her person, she's found her purpose, and she's moving on. Whereas Meri and Janelle were still at the point of where they're trying to discover who they are and what they want now that their marriages have failed. Kody sees himself as being the villain because people are going to, see him as a villain. It's like, Kody really loves this persona. He really thrives on this. So you have Kody sit down. Well, he's the first one to present, so he sits down with Suki. And personally, I find him patronizing, I find him disrespectful, and I find him bordering on rude the way he speaks to her. And I'm surprised the producers haven't actually called him out, because it's unacceptable for him to speak to her like that and tell and be sarcastic also when she said we need to look at one of the clips, because I think he came in knowing that you'd be in the hot seat. I think he came in having come up with a plan with Robin to leave there as the victim. So whatever was going to be said, they were going to find a way to turn it around. So he's shown clips about, the end of his relationships and, how things have fallen apart, because this is the main bone of contention, that they came into this experience saying that polygamy works. A man can love more than one wife. And so for him to say that, he really tried his best to make his relationships work. He really tried his best to sort of upgrade his relationships with the other wives to the stage where his relationship with Robin was. I didn't like it. The fact that he took a swipe at the other wives and said, with Robin, we had a lot of respect, we had a lot of communication, and something else that he said. And it's like, oh my God, this man is not serious. This man is not serious. He stayed with these women for so many years, and yet he continues to talk about them as though they're less than, as though finding Robin was his epiphany, was his aha moment, was his I found grace. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm sad that Suki tries to hold his feet to the fire. And every time she tries, he sort of pulls back and sort of starts going into this sort of confrontational mode. And then she has to back down. I wish. I think he's got a thing for women. I wish the producers could bring in a man to interview him. The ladies can be interviewed by a lady, but I wish the producers could bring in a man to sort of call him out on the things that he said. Well, I had this divine relationship with Robin, and I was trying to uplift my other relationships. I give credit to Janelle for saying that. He didn't say that to us. Meri said, I am not Robin. I'm never going to change myself to be Robin, so I'm not going to do that. Christine said, he never told us that. That's a lie. And I agree with all the OG3 that this is revisionist history. This is revisionist history in the sense that he's trying to make it seem as though Robin's only crime was coming into this relationship, loving this man, giving him unconditional love, being faithful, being, respecting of his beliefs and his values, and also of their relationship, and being a great communicator. And it's like, you were a good communicator with all these wives until Robin came in. Your relationships were functional. Yes, they might have been toxic, but they were functional. And so the idea that suddenly Robin has come in and this is it, I don't get it. Robin to try and give an excuse that, he tried to bring all the relationships up. That's what he's told me before. No, that is her coming up with something so that he can use it as an excuse. I find that she's the mastermind behind their relationship. I find that she's the master manipulator who tells Kody what to go and say, and then Kody comes out, regurgitates it, and tries to appear as though he's the intelligent one in the relationship. For him to say he respected Meri, to some extent, I want to believe it. I think his respect for Meri was on the basis that she allowed him to bring in more wives. That was why he was respectful towards her. And she sat back and she put up with everything that he did to her. That's the only reason he can say he respected her. For him to say he respected Janelle, he respected Janelle's purse more than anything else. He respected Janelle because Janelle was the brains behind the machine, because she was the most intelligent, it seemed, of the bunch. I don't know about Meri's IQ, so I wouldn't want to comment on that. But it seems like she was the most accomplished of the three wives, and she was the provider for the family. And so I think this is why he says he had respect for her. I think he's right to say he didn't respect Christine because of the fact that she stayed at home and looked after the kids and did the wifely tasks and whatever. For him to say, she cooked me a meal, that's an insult. That's a slap in the face to Christine. The fact that you think that's all she was good for, cooking you a meal. You've already said you were forced into marrying her just because, she was the church leader's daughter. Now you have to dig the knife deeper. I think he's upset with Christine because Christine was able to move on and find someone who's better than him. And so the idea that she didn't go there and sit in a corner and pine for him is the reason why he has to say something very vindictive and malicious when it comes to Christine. So we get to see Meri, and there's the conversation about the demise of her relationship with Kody. The fact that, she went to the church leaders and she got a divorce on the grounds of abandonment, and Kody wasn't happy that she got it on the basis of abandonment. And so you get to see the other, the other OG two wives. So you get to see Christine and Janelle watch Meri sort of have this conversation with Kody. And Kody saying to Meri, I don't know where we stand now. I don't know how to sort of relate to our relationship. And Meri says, let's just be for real and say we're divorced. The pride and the smile on Janelle's face. I love the fact that Janelle looks sideways. You can tell she's trying to hide her little giggle. She wants to giggle because it's her proud. It seems like she's proud of Meri. It seems like she's proud that Meri was able to stick up for herself finally. The OG3 know Kody abandoned Meri, irregardless of the fact that he doesn't like that word. You have Christine say Meri was abandoned, and had I gone to the church leaders, I would have got a divorce on the grounds of abandonment because he did abandon us. They go into this conversation about the signing of the divorce papers, with Kody saying that, after, he signed the divorce papers, he went and he made love to Meri because he felt like, their relationship was still intact. And it's like, personally, this is what I feel. This man, he's already told us that, the pretense is easy. I feel like the moment he met Robin, he fell in love with Robin. Once he fell in love with Robin, the OG3 became a hindrance to what he wanted from his marriage. And so because of that, he then went ahead and decided to sort of find a way to get rid of the OG3. And the only way he could do this was by getting rid of Meri, because he knew that the others would go wherever Meri went, because they trusted Meri, and they knew that irregardless of what was going on around them, she would always have their best interest or the interest of the family at heart. And the idea that, you have people saying we're protecting Meri, I don't like that. I don't like that. I was side-eyeing Christine because she was saying Meri has done a lot of work. Because what impression are you trying to make by saying, oh, Meri was very prickly? Meri had every right to be prickly. I'm sorry, I'm going to take sides. But at the end of the day, her husband went and married her brother's ex-wife. And then to add salt to the injury, you had two women giving birth back to back, and yet she couldn't have any children. All she had was Leon and the miscarriage. So she has every right to feel some type of way. Unless you've walked in those shoes whereby you've married someone who you think is the love of your life, you struggle to have children. He marries other people. They come in, and soon after they come in, they start having children. How did they expect her to react? How did they expect her to react? Had they been in those shoes, would they have felt the same way? And also for Robin to pretend like she's naive, she's ignorant of what was taking place, and she doesn't understand why the wives are saying they were abandoned. She doesn't agree with it because she wants to respect, Kody, and she wants to respect Meri. No, because she knows it looks bad on her husband. And the moment we start saying her husband abandoned his wives, that's also acknowledging that at the end of the day, she was responsible for him abandoning his wives. So we get to hear this conversation about Meri, getting the spiritual release on abandonment basis. And then the conversation in regards how the idea of the legal divorce came about. Because we as viewers can tell that this is something that suddenly came after Robin came into the family. Because this took place before the catfishing, if I'm not mistaken. And so the idea that Christine is saying that, this is something Robin implanted, I can get it. And also for Janelle to say Kody's not smart enough to be that sort of calculated, I can also get it. Which leads me to believe at the end of the day, the person who benefited the most was Robin. Let's be for real. She benefited the most from the divorce. She benefited the most from the ladies selling their houses so that she could follow her son and get a McMansion. So for Robin to say, oh, I didn't say that, oh, Kody's dad had done this. No. Let's just be honest. Let's just say it for what it is. And let's stop making it seem like Meri is pulling things out of her backside. Meri sadly is very protective over these people that are not protective about her. Because she said, I'm not going to say Christine made it up. I'm not going to say she didn't make it up. If Christine said it, there is a reason why she's saying this. And I wish Meri would stop protecting everybody else, just like they are not protecting her. She needs to stick up for herself. She needs to speak her truth. She needs to voice her truth and let the truth be known. Instead of her continuing to protect people that are not protecting her. The only other person who's protecting Meri is Janelle. Otherwise, everybody else is throwing her under the bus by saying, oh, we refuse to talk about it. Or, you know, what she said to the spiritual leaders is what allowed them to give her a divorce and abandonment. And it's like, seriously. If they watched a couple of episodes of the show, they would know this man abandoned his wife. So the idea that you're making it seem like Meri went there and played tricks on the church elders for them to say she was abandoned, I don't get it. And I'm surprised that Robin suddenly, as Meri's friend, has decided to say all this vindictive and malicious stuff. So then we get to watch Janelle. They show us the clip of Janelle and Kody, with Kody trying to find out what's happening with their relationship. Is there still something there, or is this the end? And it's like, buddy, the end was already when you told her to give her children an ultimatum. And for him to refuse when Christine said everything had to stop when Kody came because we had to prioritize him. And then he sat there and said, no, she's lying. She didn't do that for me. And yet on the other hand, he wanted Janelle to kick her children out so that he could come in and visit. So the idea that this man is so talking from both sides of his mouth doesn't make sense. I love that Janelle stood her ground. And you get to see the clip of saying, you know, Robin is a sacred cow. But Robin is not looking at the cameras because she knows that this is what she wants to hear. She knows that she's lapping this up because at the end of the day, Kody is telling these women that she is better than them. And so for her to sit there and pretend to be a victim and to try and search for tears, I don't get it. I wish Suki could be more sort of on the ball with the questions, especially when Robin is trying to evade responding to questions. And I think they should bring in a male interviewer for Kody. They can keep Suki for the ladies, but they should bring in a male interviewer for Kody. And let's see if he will sort of try and manipulate and sort of be confrontational with him as he is with Suki. I can't wait for part 2. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 25. Bye guys.